Hey guys, it's Simmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited. As it's Monday, and that means tonight is Monday Night Raw. As far as tonight's Monday Night Raw did go, I thought it was an alright show. I mean, I didn't hate the show, but I didn't think it was a great episode of Monday Night Raw or anything. But nonetheless, I want to know what you guys thought as well. You could text your thoughts tonight. You can text in your thoughts about tonight's Monday Night Raw to 510-906-1341. That number is in the live chat, and we'll be scrolling across the screen periodically right down here throughout the remainder of the show. I want to thank you guys for joining me here, either twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited or youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. If you're here on Twitch, would greatly appreciate it if you supported the channel in a couple of different ways. Well, one of a couple of different ways, at least. You can either donate with the button down below. You can donate Twitch bits here on Twitch, or you can subscribe to the channel one of two ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe for free if you already have Amazon Prime, because not only in March can you watch Coming to America free with Amazon Prime, but you can subscribe right now to the PWU Unlimited Twitch channel for no extra cost since you're already paying Amazon. So head over, link your Twitch account to your Amazon account. I would greatly appreciate it if you gave us that free subscription. I do want to say thank you to Broken King Slender, who has subscribed at Tier 1 for 6 months now. Thank you so much, Broken King Slender. Really do appreciate that. Also, if you are on YouTube, you can also support the channel by subscribing to the channel absolutely free, becoming a channel member by hitting that join button down below, or donating a super chat during the live stream. If you donate a super chat during this live stream, that does guarantee that your comment, question, or concern will be read live on the air. But with that, we are here to talk about Monday Night Raw, a show that I thought was good, not great, kind of like it's been for the last couple of weeks. But let's kick it off. The show opened up with an immemorial graphic for Luke Harper, a.k.a., well, actually, John Huber, a.k.a. Luke Harper, a.k.a. to some, Brody Lee. Actually, what I've learned over these last couple of days is that everyone called him Brody, it seems like. Oh, everyone but Randy Orton. But anyways, it seems like everybody called him Brody, because in all of the tributes from guys either in WWE, AEW, or guys that worked with him before he was in WWE, it's Brody, Brody, Brody. Even guys that didn't work with him outside WWE and only worked with him in WWE when he was Luke Harper, they all have still referenced him as Brody. So I guess he always went by the name Brody. But Monday Night Raw kicks off, and Tom Phillips welcomes us with saying, "It's Monday, and you know what that means." Drew McIntyre made his way down to the ring. He also stated, "It's Monday. You know what that means? Yeah. McIntyre spoke about the year that we've had here in 2020 and states that next week is Legends Night, and Raw will be kicking off Legends Night in a big way. Well, I don't know if they're going to kick it off. That's the way he stated it. I don't know. But he said next week he will be defending the WWE Championship against one of two men, either Sheamus or Keith Lee. And with that, those two will battle for the opportunity to fight for the WWE Championship next week. And that match happening tonight. Right now, first match of the night. Keith Lee came out. Sheamus actually came out first, though. Sheamus said technically he kept his word last week when he said that he wouldn't touch Lee during their match. Which, okay, he wasn't wrong. He didn't lie. He didn't do anything, I guess you can say, illegal. Well, I don't know if I should use the word illegal. He didn't do anything that he didn't say he was going to do, I guess you could say, if that makes sense. So, where was I? He said he didn't do it until after the match. Sheamus said that they were so close to getting that dream match that they've always wanted between the two of them. Lee would then interrupt. Lee thought that McIntyre looked proud of what Sheamus had did last week. Lee no longer trusted either of them, nor Sheamus, nor Drew McIntyre. Lee said that he would force an apology out of Sheamus during this match tonight, and warned McIntyre that Sheamus would just stab him in the back as well, as everybody assumes that's what's going to happen. Sheamus said that he was sick of Lee accusing him of planning to turn on his best friend. McIntyre said he was sick of all this, called out a referee and said, let's get this match going. A ref entered, McIntyre joined commentary, and this match was underway. Lee confronted McIntyre for all that, though, and Sheamus quickly brogue kicked him twice. Ref checked on Lee. He said, let's go. And this match went just shy of 13 minutes. So Sheamus worked over Lee until he grabbed him and suplexed him over the top to the outside. Lee tossed him around ringside before chucking him into the ring. Sheamus caught Lee with a knee strike before he re-entered the ring. Sheamus followed with a double axe handle off the top rope to the outside, which led to a commercial break less than 5 minutes after the match had started. They fought back and forth after the break. Lee took the advantage after tackling Sheamus as he came off the top. They seemed to mess up a spot where Lee hit a tackle, but it's possible Lee thought Sheamus was going to counter it. Because, Sheamus, I don't know. This was a little weird. So Sheamus did fight back for a moment, but then Lee came back with a much more harder crossbody. I don't know exactly what happened here, but it seemed a little off. Sheamus managed to hit a white noise at one point and get a near fall. Sheamus smacked Lee in the face before Lee no-sold the headbutt. Lee followed this up with a big spirit bomb to pick up the victory. Keith Lee did defeat Sheamus tonight and will challenge Drew McIntyre next week for the WWE Championship. So that Sheamus match is coming. I'm going to say that right now. The Sheamus match is coming. I was told before the draft, one move that is for certain is Sheamus going from SmackDown to Raw, and that happened. The reason that match was for certain happening because the plan going into the new year and with the draft and everything was eventually a big Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre championship match. So that match is coming, whether that's at the Royal Rumble, whether that's at Elimination Chamber, whether that's at WrestleMania, I don't know. But that match is in the works, is something they really think is going to be a big match for both guys. So afterwards, Keith Lee confronted the WWE champion who was sitting at ringside on commentary. McIntyre got to his feet and the two had a stare down. Just only imagine how great this match is going to be next week. So in the back, Elias played his guitar. Jackson Riker was by his side. Someone knocked on the door, but Elias told Riker, ignore it. Grand Metalik took on The Miz. This match went about 3.5 minutes. The match happened because, Lucha House Party thought it was dumb that Miz thought that he should get his Money in the Bank briefcase back because he didn't cash it in. Well, they're dumb because of what happens later, thinking he couldn't get it back. Well, we'll talk about that in a moment. The Miz was ranting during the match about the contract. Metalik made a comeback and used a sunset flip pin to win the match. Again, the match only went like 3.5 minutes long. The story of this match is Miz is pissed, Miz can't focus, and maybe Miz is nothing without the briefcase. So someone was still knocking on Elias' door, so Riker just opened it. He said, I'm going to open this door. Omos and AJ Styles barged in. Styles said Omos was trying to listen to Mozart, while Styles himself was on the phone with WWE management trying to right a wrong from Money in the Bank. Not Money in the Bank, TLC. Styles said he couldn't concentrate with all of Elias' guitar playing. Styles said that Elias was no Johnny Cash. He was more like Johnny Trash. Elias told Riker that Styles was just upset about losing what might be one of the final chances he'll ever get at, being at the top of the stage in his career. Kind of a weird way to the verbiage of that. He said something like, he was like, one of the final chances that he has left to get to the top of the stage at this point in his career, something like that. Excuse me. Styles said that they should fight tonight and see who could break Elias' fingers. See if he could break Elias' fingers, and then no one would have to listen to him again. Next up, we had a 4.5 minute match between Shayna Baszler and Dana Brooke. Baszler put down Brooke outside of the ring with a Karafuda clutch, and instead of taking a sure count-out win, basically went after Mandy Rose. Because which, I get it, she could have got the sure count-out win, but it wasn't a for sure, because what if Mandy threw Dana back in before the 10? Just saying. So, Shayna went out, attacked Mandy. Brooke then made the save and hit a swinging neckbreaker for a 2. Baszler dodged a splash and hit a knee strike. She still got the win, though, with the Karafuda clutch as Dana Brooke tapped out. After the match, Mandy Rose went to check on Dana Brooke, and, well, got a Karafuda clutch of her own as well. We go into the second hour of the show, and we get Alexa's Playground with guest Randy Orton, or so we thought. The segment was done in the ring, which, again, just like last week, had had a swing set and a slide. Bliss spoke like a child as she swung on the swing set. Bliss was happy that, quote-unquote, he built this set, but she hasn't seen him since the Inferno match. Bliss then dropped a yeah in there as well. Bliss called out Randy Orton, and Orton's music did play, but he didn't come out. She has music play again, still no Randy Orton. Then, the Firefly Funhouse music would play, and Orton would emerge from inside the Funhouse set. Orton tossed around the puppets, kicked a couple of them as well, and yelled at Alexa Bliss. He thought that it was funny, that she thought that the Fiend would be coming back. But if he was returning, Orton wanted to ensure that the Fiend had nothing left to actually come back to. Bliss panicked as Orton continued to destroy the puppets in the Firefly Funhouse. Bliss then begged him to stop as he ripped the head off Ramblin' Rabbit. Bliss then said, "How about later tonight? You come out here to the ring with me. Me, in this ring later tonight." Orton said, "Oh, is that when he is supposed to return? Is he going to come back then? I accept." So, I mean, that was okay. It was pretty good. But then the way the show ended, which we'll get to, with the two of them, because they were the main event segment, was weird. It was just like, that's your quote-unquote cliffhanger? Okay. So, next up, they played a clip of Nia Jax attacking Charlotte Flair from 6 months ago when Charlotte was written off TV. Charlotte Caruso interviewed Charlotte. Charlotte said she was ready for Jax, but knew how dangerous she actually was. She said, I quote, "If there's one person I'm willing to bet on, it's me." Charlotte said that her New Year's resolution is to climb to the top and stay there. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but Charlotte, she's only teaming with Asuka to get Asuka's guard down so she can attack and challenge Asuka for the title. I mean, she fucking said it right now. She said it right here. She said, my goal is to get back to the top and stay there. Well, on the Raw brand, who's at the top? Oh, Asuka. So she's Asuka's friend and tag team partner, and Asuka's very happy about that. Charlotte Flair, we're friends and we're champions. Nobody's ready for Charlotte Flair. Okay, so, Charlotte ain't no fucking babyface. And I'm 99% sure all of this is leading to Charlotte Flair eventually attacking Asuka, turning on her, and saying, all right, you show me your weaknesses. I've beat you before, and I can beat you again with the title on the line. I'm telling you, it's coming. If that's not the Raw Women's title match at Mania, I don't know what is. I honestly don't know what is. I'm not saying Charlotte wins the Rumble, but if that's not the Raw Women's title match at Mania, and we get a rematch for Mania 34, I don't know what else they do. Who else do they got on Raw that's right there ready to challenge? I have no idea. Next up, we had AJ Styles versus Elias. This match actually went 14 minutes. This match was actually longer than Keith Lee versus Sheamus at the beginning of the show. Like 2 minutes longer. Well, minute and a half longer or so. And nothing really happened in this match. It was just a by the numbers Monday Night Raw match. Match went through a break. A few minutes after that break, Riker walked towards Styles outside of the ring, but backed up and fell down upon seeing Omos. Styles kicked out of Elias's finisher. At one point, Elias hit the crossroads. He then knocked Elias off the top rope with the Pele kick. Elias came back with a TKO for a near fall. Styles fought back and with kicks and hit a phenomenal forearm and then, pinned Elias. Nothing happened in this fucking match, but it went 14 goddamn minutes. Why? Who the hell knows? Next up, they replayed Ricochet's promo from last week on Raw Talk, where he basically said that, hey, no one can hold me down. I'm going to show everybody what I can actually do. And we had Ricochet versus Ali. And this match went a lot longer than I expected as well. This match went 11 minutes and about 50 seconds. This match went almost 12 minutes. Ali and Ricochet got time on the show. So about 3 minutes into the match, Slapjack and Mia Yim distracted the referee, which allowed T-Bar and Mace to drop Ricochet outside of the ring and throw him into the barricade. The ref didn't see it, and so we went on with the match. Ali at one point hit a backbreaker for a 2. Ricochet came back with a backflip into a German suplex. Ricochet turned Ali inside out with a clothesline, discus clothesline, and hit a Benadryller. But Mace, so fucking stupid as shit. So Ricochet is pinning Ali. 1, 2, Mace grabs both arms of Ali, yanks him right out of the ring, and the ref just goes, "Hey, don't get involved," and does nothing else. Is that a DQ? No. What happens? We keep on fighting. What else happens? All of fucking Retribution jumps up on the apron. Ricochet's got to fight them all off. Now, I know what you're going to say here. Well, that wasn't a DQ because Ricochet attacked them. They never laid a finger on Ricochet. He knocked them all down. Okay, but the fucking Mace pulling Ali out of the ring, that should be a DQ. That should be a fucking DQ. Why is it not a DQ? I have no absolute idea. It makes no sense. So, here's what I'm saying. Hey, Miz, Morrison. Hey, AJ, Omos. Hey, Elias, Jackson Riker. When you're cornering your buddy, just pull them out of the ring when they're getting pinned. Because apparently, it's fucking legal. Apparently, it's all well and good. If fucking Miz and Morrison don't do this in the future, then they're idiots. So this is perfect for them. Miz is getting pinned. Morrison pulls him out of the ring, saves him. Stupid. How is that not a disqualification? Yeah, I get people are gonna say, well, Mace never actually touched Ricochet. So because of that, he didn't get involved. He didn't attack one of the men in the ring. No, but he literally pulled a guy out of the ring while he was being pinned. Ridiculous. Stupid. Dumb. Ricochet then tried a shooting star press. All he got his knees up. He applied a Koji clutch. And well, yeah, you guessed it. Ricochet tapped out. Ricochet looked great in this match. Ali looked great in this match. But the fucking interference killed this match for me. It made a match that could have been great, subpar, average at best. Stupid. So afterwards, Ali asked Ricochet, "Are you going to join Retribution now?" And Ricochet said, "I will not," before he bailed and got out of there. Well, actually, before he hit Ali with a recoil, or codebreaker, and then bailed. Natalia Caruso interviewed Nia Jax with Shayna Baszler, asked her about Charlotte Flair. Jax says she has resolutions of her own as well. 1, end Charlotte Flair's journey to the top before it even starts. 2, win back tag team titles. And 3, and Shayna goes, "You got a 3? What's your 3? She goes, "Enter the Royal Rumble and then go on to challenge for the championship at WrestleMania." And she walks off. Shayna walks off, and Shayna comes back and goes, "You know what? Not a bad idea. I'm going to do that too." And so, Nia, Shayna, both entered into the Royal Rumble. Give me 1 second, guys, to check something. All right. So, Charlie Caruso then interviews Drew McIntyre. Said he wanted to give the Legends a championship match that they would be proud of watching. He said he was also happy to see Lee step up his game tonight. He knew Lee could beat anyone in WWE when he's motivated. Well, anyone except himself. Then we got Charlotte Flair versus Nia Jax in an 11-minute match that ended in a fucking disqualification. So, not much happened in the early portions of this match, like most matches tonight. Charlotte applied a figure four at one point, and Shayna Baszler jumped in and put on the Karafuda clutch. DQ. Straight up. Asuka chased off Baszler and Jax. Not really much of anything happened in this match. Like, why even recap an 11-minute match that ends in a DQ? Like, none of it matters, so I'm not going to talk about any of it. See the Hurt Business backstage. Bullied some guy. Cool, whatever. Then I see Angel Garza walking around. Got his rose. And fucking Charlie walks up. And she's like, "Oh, Angel, who's the rose for?" You know, she's still smitten. And he's like, "Oh, Charlie, I never," what did he say? Something like, "I never tell," or I don't remember the line exactly. I didn't write it down. But he basically insinuated it ain't for her. He then said, "Next week is Legends Week. And I have my eyes on one legend that I want to give my rose to." Cool. She asked him about 2021. He said he's looking forward to it. And then R-Truth bumps into him. And R-Truth goes, "Sorry, Mr. Garza. My 24/7 title's already taken for." And then runs off. Truth, that is. And we see Zawa, Eric of the Viking Raiders, and Drew Gulak run after him. Garza then realizes that, well, his rose has been destroyed. And he said, "It's the thought that counts." He's a little disappointed, but it's the thought that counts. What the fuck's that supposed to mean? They recapped Big E winning the IC title on SmackDown. And then in the back, Jeff Hardy congratulated Kingston and Woods on Big E's big win, like they had anything to do with it. Riddle said he had an idea. "We're a 4-man unit. We need a name. How about Positivity Hard Bros?" New Day backed away without really answering about. He had said a couple other names I don't remember exactly. And Woods was like, "Oh, that one's already taken." And Kofi's like, it's like Low Brannies or something like that. I have no clue what that was. But he was like, "That's already taken." And Kofi's like, "It is?" He goes, I'll tell you later about what that is." I'm like, tell me, because I don't know what a little Branny is. Anyways. We had a 8-man tag team match. It was the Hurt Business against Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Jeff Hardy, and Riddle. And this was a really fun match. The good guys were all in control, but the Hurt Business... we're all in control early on, but the Hurt Business eventually did get control after the break. Kingston made a hot tag at one point and ran wild on Cedric Alexander. Woods tagged in, and Kingston took out Shelton with a dive. Hardy wiped out MVP with a dive as well, as Woods hit Alexander with a discus clothesline, which Tom Phillips called a Harper clothesline. Hardy seemed to have the match won after a swanton bomb, but Lashley broke up the pin. This led to everyone trading moves, leaving Lashley and Hardy alone in the ring. Hardy avoided a spear, but Lashley got him in the hurt lock, and Hardy had to tap out. Fun 13.5-minute match. I really enjoyed it. After the match, the Hurt Business went after a New Day. But New Day fought back before escaping. Riddle hit Lashley with a knee strike before leaving with his partners. Also, I forgot to mention, before the match, Lashley did state he will be entering into the Men's Royal Rumble match. So in the back, see Morrison and Miz sitting on these steps. And Miz talking about losing money in the bank, and he should get that briefcase back because he's not the one that cashed it in. And he goes, hey, everyone loses. Remember when John Cena even lost to Kevin Federline? And Miz is like, is that supposed to make me feel better? All of a sudden, Adam Pearce just appears out of nowhere with the Money in the Bank briefcase. And he goes, Miz, after thinking about it and deliberating long and hard, you were right. The contract states that you, Mr. Money in the Bank, has to be the one that cashes in the briefcase, not John Morrison. So because of that, technically, you never cashed in, and you can have this back. He then places the Money in the Bank briefcase on the step in front of Miz, and Miz and Morrison are elated. Yes, they fucking did it. They gave Miz the Money in the Bank briefcase back because Morrison was the one that gave it to the ref to cash it in for Miz. Miz was never the one that handed it to the referee. So, by technicality-wise, Miz is still Mr. Money in the frickin' Bank. Goddamn. I mean, it's dumb because he wrestled the goddamn match in that should be enough to be like, if you wouldn't have wrestled the match, that would have been one thing. But you wrestled the match for a good 10 minutes. But no, they just said, you didn't hand the briefcase to the ref. You didn't cash in. Morrison did. We're going to give you a pass on that one. Miz and Morrison then danced on the steps as Miz held up the briefcase. Then I got our main event segment. But before we get to our main event segment, I'll tell you about our sponsor. Sponsor, Pro Wrestling Loot. Head over to ProWrestlingLoot.com right now. Use promo code PW Unlimited at checkout to get 20% off of your next loot box because you can get some really cool items. If you sign up before January 4th, you will get their January box, which features items from Victoria, Too Cold Scorpio, and AAA Lucha Libre. In next month's box, you will get an autographed pint-size all-star figure, a T-shirt, and many more. Again, head over to ProWrestlingLoot.com before January 4th to get that January box and use code PW Unlimited at checkout. You get 20% off of your first box. We got our main event here, and Alexa Bliss marches down to the ring wearing all black like she's going to a funeral, and she thought she was going to her own funeral. So, Orton asked Bliss, where's the Fiend? Where is he? And she said, I brought you something. She went and grabs a Christmas present. And I think it was Joe on commentary. He goes, Christmas is over. I kind of laughed at that. So, brings this present into the ring. She opens it, and it's got a can full of gasoline and a box of matches in it. Places them at the feet of Randy Orton and challenged him to do what he did to the Fiend to her. She said, do to me what you did to him. Orton didn't bite, didn't say anything. So she grabs the can full of gasoline. She makes a line from the middle of the ring over to Randy Orton. She said, I've already done the job for you, just light it. She then laid down and begged him to do it. He just stared at her. Bliss said Orton didn't have the guts to do it because, well, he wasn't as sick and demented as he actually said he was. She then said Orton is nothing more than a little bitch. She would then proceed to dump the entire can of gasoline over herself. Orton smiled and laughed. Orton then said, you think I won't do it? Orton said that he wanted to do it, but he also knew that maybe he shouldn't because that's what she wanted. Because he does like seeing people suffer, though. We then heard it. King, king. Lights started to go out. King, king, king. All the lights go out with about 10 seconds left on the show. All of a sudden, a spotlight appears on Randy Orton as he has a lit match in his hand. He stands there with the match in his hand. Tom Phillips goes, Orton, don't do it. Don't do it! And the show goes off the air. He motioned as if he was going to drop the match, but we don't know if Orton actually dropped the match itself. So with that, guys, that is how Monday Night Raw went off the air. I thought it was I get it, it's supposed to be a cliffhanger, but to me it was a little anticlimactic, to be completely honest. But I want to know what you guys thought of tonight's Raw, and you can tell me by texting into 510-906-1341 or leaving us a super chat donation on YouTube. But we do have a couple of text messages here that I want to read. First one says, this is random. Okay, I'm not going to read that one because that's very random. It said, did you notice the New Day's entrance? Xavier Woods was channeling D'Lo Brown. No, he was Brody Lee. He was Luke Harper. He also had a Brody Deal armband on. You remember, Brody used to do that. Shake his head and do all that kind of. He wasn't D'Lo Brown. He was Brody Lee. First it says, how would you or WWE story writers book Braun Strowman's run into the WWE title picture once he returns from being quote-unquote suspended? Maybe before the Royal Rumble or attacking Drew McIntyre during a match/segment, possibly. Well, that's the way to go. I don't see Strowman winning the Rumble, so don't waste a Rumble spot with him. Don't use that as his return. Because if you're going to return somebody in the Rumble, then they should win, per se, or be like number 2. I don't see that, so maybe he attacks Drew. That would be a good way to go. Person also states, do you think the Hurt Business is probably the greatest faction ever created in 2020 lately? That's a kind of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Contradicting question. You can't say, is something the greatest ever created in 2020? That's like saying, I don't know, is the 24/7 championship the greatest championship belt that's green? It's too specific of a thing. Like Guinness Book of World Records when they're making shit up. Like most times to bench press 250 pounds underwater. So that question kind of contradicted itself. The person also says, if so, would you like to see them with all the titles? Similar to Undisputed Era, yes. I would like to see Hurt Business with all the gold. Get that U.S. title over to MVP. Put the World WWE Championship on motherfucking Bobby Lashley. Bada bing, bada boom. Frickin' Hurt Business would be the best faction in wrestling. And I'm saying that as a guy that absolutely loves and adores the Undisputed Era. And this person here says, who's going to win the Rumble? You know, I've said it for the last couple of weeks, maybe month now, and I'm going to stick with it. Maybe Sheamus. I think Sheamus wins the Royal Rumble. And then we get Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre, WrestleMania. But yeah, that was our review of Monday Night Raw. I want to say thank you guys for joining me here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember to follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD. Remember to follow us on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited. Also, later on tonight, I will be back playing some video games on my personal Twitch. Going to start growing that one up a little bit. Twitch.tv/TimmyBuddy. So if you guys want to join me there in a little while, play some Call of Duty, I would really appreciate that. If not, we'll be live again for sure on Wednesday, talking AEW, the Mr. Brody Lee tribute edition of AEW and NXT. So with that, guys, have a great, great night, and I will see you next time. Alrighty.